And we in the NDC have always maintained that anytime elections are held free and fair, the NDC will win every election.
It's not that the NDC had nothing to hide, that the Electoral Commission had nothing to hide.
Yes, they had nothing to, and we also had nothing to hide.
Okay.
And I'll come to why I'm saying that the NDC had nothing to hide and the NPP had so much to hide. And so it's important that we establish the foundation that much as Ghanaians and political parties may have had their issues with the Electoral Commission, we have never had the levels of negligence and sheer recklessness that we are experiencing under the Jane Bosman Commission. And I'll say Jane Bosman Commission because Bosman Asari behaves like a cleaner in the NPP headquarters. That he's more NPP than even the members of the NPP. And it's very annoying and very disgusting. And I want to tell the Electoral Commission that if they know what awaits them, it is in their interest to allow this audit. You see, Annie, this whole thing started when the NPP began appointing their party foot soldiers as commissioners at the Electoral Commission. We've had Afarijan as we speak. You cannot say whether Afarijan is NPP or NDC. On one breath, NDC says it's NPP. On another breath, NPP says it's NDC. Charlotte Osei. You cannot tell whether Charlotte Osei is NDC or NPP. We will have people accusing others and all that. But we have on record that Bosman is an NPP TESCON patron who has made some of the most reckless statements that calls into question how he even acquired his PhD by saying that the NDC is a threat to our democracy. So our woes began, and not just the woes of the NDC, the woes of Ghana and our most cherished and protected democracy that we have safely guarded in a very jealous way from 1992 till now. When you had NPP people behaving as if they were foot soldiers and not recognizing the constitutional obligations imposed on them at law. What is the NDC talking about? And I want Ghanaians to know that this is not just an unfounded allegation. And this morning I'll take my time to go through the processes with us. First of all, the reason why we cannot trust the current Electoral Commission is that they keep lying and the NDC keeps exposing them and they keep coming back to admit whatever the NDC says. And then they say, oh, despite the fact that we've been caught pants down, there is nothing wrong. This is how it began. The NDC started blowing an alarm of some stolen BVRs. And we said that the Electoral Commission system is so compromised that individuals had access to the BVR and they could manipulate the system the way they want. Mr. Sibwa, who has been fired now or has been reshuffled, quickly came out to say that this is a lie. It is never true that there were some BVRs which were stolen. It is not true. It's never been stolen. Everything we have is intact. And the EC will protect everything you have said and blah, 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 blah. And we went on and went on and on. Now, when we presented the EC with the evidence and said that these things have been stolen, they said, oh, yes, it is true, they were stolen. But the means of the stealing is what they don't agree. Listen to this cock and bull story. First, they denied. Now they say, oh, we admit it's been stolen. But you see, even if it is stolen, it wasn't stolen this way. And what has been stolen, it cannot be used in this manner. And we crossed that barrier.
But did you agree to that explanation?
Which explanation?
The explanation of the stolen DVDs and how it cannot be used.
How can we even agree to that? You said nothing has been stolen. So in the first place, you were either not aware or you were aware and you lied about it. Now that we have proven to you that indeed it was stolen, how can we come back and subsequently agree to whatever theory you are giving? That is a post-facto rationalization that after the fact, let's think of something and tell these people. So we cannot take the EC for their words. Then we came to the voter exhibition. And this is where the MPP wants to rig the election. And I want to use this medium to tell every Ghanaian that the mistakes of 2020 would not happen in the 2024 election. That the NDC more than ever is ready to protect your vote at the peril of our lives. That we have an eagle eye on every process and every machination of the EC. And so when you trust the NDC with your vote, you trust that we will protect your vote. And I can tell you that what is coming to happen tomorrow is just the beginning of the things you will see and the processes that the NDC will take this EC through to make sure that we reset our nation. When the EC had to exhibit the voter register, we asked for the voter register. You know what they did? They kept it. They said, oh, you bring your pen drives, we will give it to you. We submitted it days ahead. They never give to us. On the afternoon, a day before the exhibition, then they gave us the voter register or the provisional voter register. Their expectation was that they had given us the voter register so late in time that we will not be able to discover any anomalies, if there are any, and all the gerrymanderings and the machinations they were doing, because we would have been focused on the exhibition and nobody will have the time to check some of these things. But that's where I tell the EC that they should sit up this time under the leadership of Dr. Manibuama. They lie bad. Now we started and subjected the register to our own audit. And the register which the EC gave us was different from the register they were exhibiting in the first place. So first of all, your source document to start the comparison of all the irregularities in the register, I mean, are two. Either you use the one the EC gave you or the one that the EC was exhibiting. Now this is the trick. The essence of a voter exhibition, it's not to detect the anomalies the NDC has detected. The essence is just to allow citizens to go and check whether your names have been spelled rightly. And you know, recently, with the advent of the EC registering voters at various polling stations, I mean at district offices, and assigning them to different polling stations, if you don't take it, you may not even be able to tell whether your polling station has been accurately assigned to you. So that if you have the polling station code C006 or something, you will not know that it is the one behind the Anglican church. You just know that your register is there. And on the day of voting, it may cause an issue. But that is not even the problem. So the EC just wanted people to go and check whether their names were in the register or not. And they thought that is where it would end for the NDC too. After the audit, I mean, this is what we discovered. You see, this EC is leading this nation to where every Ghanaian must not lead the fight for the NDC. That the Christian Council must speak up. That the Catholic bishops must speak up. That chiefs and men of God must speak up. That everybody must speak up because this EC is evil. This EC is more concerned. You see, Jemensa is more concerned about entering the salon with 6 soldiers who will be holding his bag, her bag and water than securing the peace of this nation. This is what we discovered. In the minority leaders' constituency, and more than 3,000 people were transferred without their consent. In Tamale, for instance, 32 people were transferred from Tamale to Pusiga without their knowledge. It's the same in Oforikrom and it's Nafo North. And Annie, you know the danger with this. By the laws that the EC is mandated to operate with, you cannot transfer a voter without the voter being physically present. So, what the EC wanted to do is that because the NDC has 137 seats, they had just calculated the number of constituencies where the NPP probably lost by 200, where the NPP lost by 600, and they have on their own done transfers, gerrymandering, so that they can have majority.
Those are all allegations.
Which allegations?
That's not what the EC wanted.
Please.
No, you said...
These are not allegations.
No, Beatrice,
See,
hold on. You said this is what the EC wanted to do.
In fact, that is what
I want to see it as they are genuine mistakes.
This is what the EC has done.
Okay.
Let me not wanted to do. This is what the EC has done.
Not intended.
What is not intended?
To do gerrymandering.
How do you know the EC's intention?
But how do you know the EC's intention?
I know by what has been done.
Okay.
I know that the EC has admitted that without the consent of people, they have transferred people. But the EC said that they have suspended the electoral officer or the district officer at Pusiga for illegal transfer. So the EC has admitted that they have done illegal transfer.
True.
And you are saying that after their admission, what is their defense? If you want to be a lawyer, come right with the laws.
Which laws?
Yeah, you want to defend the EC and come right. They themselves have admitted that what the NDC is saying is true.
I'm not defending. You see, I'm not even quoting any law. I'm just saying that this is what you said this is what the EC wanted to do.
In fact, this is what the EC has done. I've amended it.
Maybe that's even safer than to
yes,
say that's what they wanted to
worse.
do. Because then when you say
this is what
that's what they
EC
wanted to do, then it means that they planned to do it.
Yes, this gerrymandering calculated to aid the election, the NPP. And you know, on Saturday, I had the opportunity of watching the EC rep on TV3 key issues also. You see sometimes and the EC believes that, excuse me to say, everybody is so stupid because maybe their allies think that everybody is not thinking except them. You know what the EC's defense is? That the reason why we had these illegal transfers is because the EC didn't have what we call the liveness test to detect that at the time of the transfer, a person ought to be physically present as mandated by law. And that after the NDC raised these concerns, the EC had gone ahead to now procure that software to make sure that, we now have this transfer. Does it make sense that you needed a software to make sure that people are not illegally transferred against their consent? In your right senses, you did not procure these softwares. After you have illegally done the transfer, now you have procured the software. What will we use the software for? What is the use of the software? We should even be investigating them for willfully causing financial loss to the state. With whose money?
But the government is the one that provided the money, so we should even ask.
Seek answers
the day of accountability will come. And that's why we like the Operation Recover All Loot. This time, we are not just prosecuting people. You sell your house and carry the cash physical and bring it. The house that you bought and the hotels they are building from these corrupt parties, they will sell, they will auction them at for sale value and they will come and make partial payment. But the point I'm making is that it tells you the weakness in the logic of the EC and their duplicity in how they have illegally transferred the people. And you see, the point also has to be made that, if you look at how the transfer is made, you cannot sit in the district offices and make the transfer without the tacit approval of somebody at the headquarters. And here, I will lay the blame squarely at the doorstep of Madam Jane Mensah, Boss Manasari, and Dr. Ofori, who is the head of IT of the EC. Because before you can have access to the system, somebody at the headquarters must have given you the access that you can go into the system and illegally transfer people out of where they are.
That's why you're asking for audits of
Both the system
and the IT
register.
system. Because it will show trace that on 5th January, this person entered the system. On 20th May, this person did this and this person had access. Because how do you do transfers at the time when it is not open to transfer? And Annie, this thing we are complaining about, for which reason we are urging many people to come out tomorrow and safeguard our young democracy, is not just about the transfers. By our audits, which we are not even done, and we keep discovering more, is that 3,957 voters, their names have been deleted or excluded from the 2024 register. And it could be you, it could be me, it could be any of us watching and listening, that you get to the polling station and you want to register, and then we cannot find your name in the register. And when the NDC raised the concern, do you know the shambolic response? Sometimes you ask whether these ECs, they sleep on pillows. You know the shambolic response the EC gave? That don't worry, when you go to the place on the day of voting and we can't find your name on the register, we will use pen
to write your name
if you have the voter register.
Yeah. That's what Dr. Maneboama mentioned, the Richard Anyagba case.
Yes.
That it was typically an example of that.
Of Richard Anyagba's case. So it tells you the duplicity. And you see, the MPP is hoping that there are machinations in 2020 which they used to rig the election. And these are some of the things they did. And so they are hoping that they would be able to do same in 2024. I said 2024, it will take them like rapture. You watch. I think we are all in Ghana.